live. We are past award season. We are moving onward and upward into 2025 motion pictures. It's Lights Camera Jackson. Thanks for being here on LCJ Live. Today is Sunday, March 9th, 2025. I'll talk a little bit about the Oscars, but we'll talk about all these new movies that are in the theaters and at home, box office results, reviews, Mickey 17, and more. I've got Anthony Mackie here, Sam Wilson, plus Daffy Duck. Captain America is still making money, though not a lot of money, and Daffy returns to the big screen this weekend in The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Back in October, I spoke with director Peter Braungart for AnimationScoop.com and the LCJ Q&A podcast. Check out that Q&A at AnimationScoop.com and LCJ.podbean.com. That's just one of several major new movies opening this coming weekend that will challenge week 2 of Mickey 17. As far as week 1 goes, $19.1 million. That's not great. No. I thought Warner would actually go with $17 million for Mickey 17, but they're going to predict $19.1 million, an estimation off the weekend. It did $2.5 million on Thursday, and then about $5 million and change on Friday, the rest yesterday, and the estimate for today. This is, no exaggeration, one of the 17 worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely nothing about it works. It is flat. It is ridiculously unfunny. Those performances from Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette, oh my gosh. But it's also a gimmick followed by another gimmick, and then nothing unique, nothing special, nothing interesting. I was bored out of my mind. I could have walked out if I felt like it, but I wanted to stick it out to just see you go from a masterpiece in Parasite, Best Picture winner, and my second favorite movie of 2019, I still gave number 1 to Wild Rose, which is an unbelievable emotional powerhouse. But Parasite, and then you go to this, Bong Joon-ho, my goodness. I liked Okja. I thought it was all right. Certainly a heck of a lot better than this. Wow, Mickey 17 is an absolute disaster. And financially, my goodness, they spent $120 million on it, and they got to make $300 to break even, and it's only made $54 million globally so far. Wow. Just an absolute flop for a terrible film. It is the third biggest opening weekend of any movie so far this year in North America at $19.1 million, behind Captain America and Dogman, but still, wow. Just terrible. Warner Brothers so far this year, my book 0 for 2, Companion, and now this. We've got the Alto Knights out in less than 2 weeks, followed by a Minecraft movie, and then Sinners with Michael B. Jordan. The movie I'm really waiting for, F1. That could be great. That's out around the end of June. Big for 4th of July. Brad Pitt. That's going to bring a lot of people to the theaters for Warner Brothers. But whoa, Mickey 17 is a disaster. Number 2 this weekend is Captain America, Brave New World, which added $8.5 million. It's at $176.6. It has just passed the domestic total of Captain America, the First Avenger from 2011, not adjusted for inflation. And look, it's the biggest movie of the year so far, but that 176.6 is certainly lower than what Marvel and Disney hoped for. I think they wanted at least $200 million off of this, and I'm not sure it's going to get there. Will another $23 million worth of people? I mean, Disney's been leaving Mufasa in theaters for so long that maybe they'll have to leave Captain America in theaters for so long. You could also see Snow White paired with Captain America in drive-ins around the country that are going to be open in a couple weeks for Snow White. That could give Captain America a little more money, but I don't think at this point it gets to $200 million domestically. If you're just joining me here on LCJ Live, thank you. Send in your questions and your comments. We'll talk about the Oscars, but we'll talk about some of the new movies coming out this week as well in just a little bit. Number 3 this weekend, Last Breath. 4.2 million. It's at 14.7 for Focus Features. I highly recommend it. Was glued to it the entire time. And I will say this about many of the movies this weekend. A lot of them had small drops or big increases when we talk about Oscar-winning films. We'll get to that in a second. But a lot of small drops for films this weekend. Even Captain America, Last Breath, not a huge second weekend drop. The Monkey added 3.9 million. It's at $31 million for Neon. It has passed I, Tonya to become the 3rd biggest Neon movie of all time, behind Long Legs, also from director Oz Perkins, and Parasite. That's number 4 this weekend. Number 5 is Paddington in Peru, which also added 3.9 million. It's at $37 million for Sony Columbia. It's the only Sony Columbia movie of the year so far, and it's the only one as of now until Karate Kid Legends at the very end of May. So a huge gap, unless something sneaks in, for Sony Columbia films. And Paddington in Peru now just a few million shy of Paddington 2, which did 40.4 million in 2018. So at this point, it's going to pass Paddington 2, but not get close to that $77 million of the first Paddington back in 2015 here in North America. Number 6 this weekend, Dogman, $3.5 million. It's at 88.8 for DreamWorks and Universal. A little bit less than The Bad Guys, $97 million from 2022. Bad Guys 2 is out this August, but it has done more than Captain Underpants. That's $74 million from 2017, and it'll get to $90 million. Could even make a run at $95 million. It depends on how many families go see Snow White, which is such a wild card. Disney is just putting tickets on sale, I believe, tomorrow. So that's rare for a Disney movie to wait this long and this close to a release to put tickets on sale. So we'll see how many families go to Snow White, but Dogman still making money. One of the big winners this weekend was your winner from last Sunday at the Oscars, Anora. 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Sean Baker, Best Actress, Mikey Madison, Best Editing, and Best Original Screenplay, Sean Baker. 4 Academy Awards, and Anora, in a wide release, re-release expansion, added $1.9 million this weekend to come in 7th. It is up to $18.5 million and is now passing Ferrari to become the 5th biggest neon movie of all time. So your neon top 5 is Longlegs, Parasite, The Monkey, I, Tonya, and Anora. 2 films from Oz Perkins, 2 Best Picture Oscar winners, and a Best Supporting Actress Oscar win for Allison Janney for I, Tonya. That's pretty darn good for neon. It really is. Fanimator 101, I do want to watch Night of the Zoopocalypse and The Day the Earth Blew Up Looney Tunes movie this week. Joey says neon is shining the way forward for Hollywood. I read the other day that I, Tonya was almost a Netflix movie. Whoa. I'm so glad I, Tonya went to theaters, and it put neon on the map for so many people, for the industry. That Allison Janney win, that $30 million I, Tonya made, it is, I think, the movie that neon is really thankful for that it had to jumpstart the neon success. Of course, Parasite added to that, but you got to give a lot of credit to I, Tonya. Night of the Zoopocalypse, we don't have the money for yet, but hopefully made a little bit of money for Viva Kids. And then, yes, The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, opens this weekend. Warner Brothers Animation, but Ketchup Entertainment distributing it nationwide. It should do okay. Families, diehard Looney Tunes fans, it should do pretty well. 8th this weekend, another family movie, Mufasa the Lion King, in its 12th weekend, has crossed $250 million domestically for Disney, adding $1.7 million. And as I wrote on social media yesterday, Disney's domestic releases for 2024 in the Walt Disney Pictures brand, which does not count Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes or any Searchlight films like A Complete Unknown, which is up to $74.5 million. You've got Inside Out 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, Moana 2, and Mufasa the Lion King, plus the theatrical exclusivity run of Young Woman in the Sea, which I would guess did about $1.5 million. You combine all of those domestically, $2 billion. It's the 6th time that Disney has had a $2 billion top 5 movies of the year. So I think Disney was keeping Mufasa in the theaters, to keeping Moana 2 in many theaters as well. That's up to almost $460 million domestically. They kept Mufasa out for this long because they wanted to get to $2 billion domestically, and they achieved that. Number 9 this weekend is a new Angel Studios release, Rule Breakers, $1.6 million. These Angel Studios movies, the last few, have not had huge success, but they've got an animated film that I've already seen. It's out April 11. It's called The King of Kings. I have seen it. I believe I can share my thoughts on it later this week, and it's out April 11, and I'll have more coverage on that coming soon. But I have seen that, and I think that'll bring some families into the theaters for Easter week. Kids have school off the week prior to Easter because Easter is so late this year, and that's when King of Kings comes out. So Angels should bounce back nicely with that in the theaters. Number 10 this weekend, new from Vertical. It is In the Lost Lands. Paul W.S. Anderson, Mila Jovovich, Dave Bautista, Game of Thrones people behind it. I didn't see it. In the Lost Lands, about $1,000,000 this weekend to come in 10th. Now, again, we don't have the money on Night of the Zoopocalypse. We don't have the money on IFC Films' The Rule of Jenny Penn, which was Jeffrey Rush and John Lithgow horror film that opened this weekend. Maybe it made close to $1 million. We'll have to see. I checked with IFC. In 4 weeks, on April 4, one of my most anticipated movies of the entire year is opening, and I reconfirmed with them that it is coming out because I haven't seen a trailer yet, and we're less than a month away. The Luckiest Man in America. It's the Pressure Luck movie with Paul Walter Hauser, David Strathairn, and Walton Goggins plays legendary Pressure Luck host Peter Tamarkin. I'm looking forward to that for sure. It does open April 4. Hopefully we'll get a trailer for it very soon. Pete Crooks says, Deadpool and Wolverine and Moana 2 were the number 2 and 3 worst movies of last year. Absolute waste of time and money. I liked Moana 2 more than the first one. I think the grown-up nature of it, I enjoyed, seeing her character arc and the maturity, and the songs I thought were great. The visuals were stunning. I'm glad they put it out in theaters. Deadpool and Wolverine, yeah, I didn't love it. It was a lot of cameos and a lot of self-aware humor. Not the worst Marvel movie ever, but why I like Captain America: Brave New World much more than Deadpool and Wolverine is because that film is not arrogant and it's grounded. So many Marvel movies are arrogant and not grounded. And in terms of box office increases for Oscar-winning movies besides Anora, Flow did another 102,000. It's up to $4.5 million. It's still in theaters. And the documentary No Other Land, which added 248,000, it's up to $1 million total. Coming out this weekend, Looney Tunes back in theaters. Also, Novocaine, which I have already seen. There were sneak previews of it last night around the country, as well as last Monday as the Regal Monday Mystery Movie. I do not care for this film, Novocaine. It is same old, ultra-violent, action comedy, thinks it's more clever than it is, a very predictable script. Did they dig this out of a vault from the 90s? It has nothing going for it, no charm, ridiculous plot elements, major and minor. I see about 20, 25, 30 of these a year, these kind of action movies. It's like, come on, really? Same old, nothing new to say. It's very, very basic and like the bare minimum in terms of effort of everything across the board. So I do not recommend Novocaine. A film I am looking forward to, Black Bag, Steven Soderbergh's latest movie. I didn't see Presence, and I may actually watch Aaron Brockovich for the first time tonight. It's on the CW. But in this Steven Soderbergh film, I love Let Them All Talk. If you haven't seen that, it's on Max. I love Let Them All Talk. But you've got Cate Blanchett, Michael Fassbender, Pierce Brosnan, and more. Star-studded cast. About an hour and a half. Thriller, spy movie. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for a good time. So Black Bag is out this weekend. Could make a little bit of money. Also, Opus, horror thriller with Iowa Debris for A24. The Last Supper, which should bring in the faith-based crowd. And then The Actor in select theaters with Andre Holland, who I met years ago at Critics' Choice. I liked him. I liked him in 42. He's been in some good films. And so I hope The Actor with him and Gemma Chan is an interesting film about the business, and I guess there's a lot of dreams involved and what's going on with your mind. So I'm interested in The Actor from Neon, which is out this coming weekend. And then at home for Netflix is The Electric State, which I haven't seen yet. It's the Russo brothers' $320 million action extravaganza with Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt. So I should be checking that out this week as well. So again, I've already seen Novocaine and Looney Tunes. Hopefully I'll be seeing The Actor, Black Bag, and The Electric State. Maybe catch up on Opus. We'll have to see. Pete Crooks, there was a Steve Martin movie called Novocaine not that many years ago. I don't like when they do that with titles. Yeah, there are some movies. There's something else coming out that I saw recently. It was like, wait, that was the title of something just a few years ago as well. I have to figure that one out. Let's see, Joey, Black Bag is going to secure that bag at the box office for sure. I hope it makes money. I hope it's good. But Focus Features, Last Breath opened to about almost 8 million last weekend. We'll see how Black Bag does. It's short, so that means a lot of show times per theater. Pete Crooks' Black Bag should be cool. Scott Stallion, I want a Creeper plushie. Oh my gosh, the Creepers. Do you know what I have? I have Okja the Pig. There's a picture of me online. They sent it out to all Critics' Choice members in 2017 when Okja was on Netflix. And they sent everybody a giant stuffed animal Okja the Pig. I have that somewhere. I gotta find it. But you want a creeper plushie from Mickey 17. Oh my goodness. All right, so the Oscars was last Sunday. I thought Conan O'Brien did a terrific job. He had a lot of funny lines and bits. And as far as the winners go, look, Honora won 5 Oscars, and it's a horrible film. There were a lot of movies from last year that I didn't care for. Conclave, I didn't care for several other films. There were some good wins in Zoe Saldana winning for Amelia Perez. I didn't love it. Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain, but we all knew he was going to win. I wish Timothée Chalamet won instead of Adrian Brody. Timothée Chalamet gave the performance of the year, and Demi Moore was really good in The Substance. I do think there's the possibility that Demi Moore can be an Oscar nominee again. Timothée Chalamet will be as well, but I think Demi can get another great role, whether it's lead actress or supporting actress. I think she'll be back on the ballot. So I think you'll see her back at the Oscars. And animated feature went to Flow. And what else? We had some fun speeches. Kieran Culkin's speech was fun. Adrian Brody's was the longest of all time. I enjoyed the Oscars. I think Conan was one of the highlights for sure, even more than some of the wins. You know, it was getting up and down. My ballot was up and down all night. Oh, I'm doing great. No, I'm not. There were some surprises for sure, but congratulations to Flo. In the Shadow of the Cypress, one animated short, and all the winners from the Academy Awards. And we now take care of that award season. We move on to more. And one last thing I will say about the Oscars is they couldn't quite get to 20 million again. They've been trying for years and years now, 3 years at least, to get to 20 million. When they hit that all-time low at 10.4 for the 2021 telecast, COVID and all that, and then they went up, I think, to 16, and then it was 18 and a half, and then it was 19 and a half, and they called this at 19.7-ish. They could not get to 20 million again. And so you have the 98th, 99th, and then the 100th Oscars in 3 years. I'm sure they want big numbers for the 100th Oscars, and that's when the deal with ABC expires. And so the Oscars will have to decide, the Academy, whether they want to stay on ABC or go somewhere else. And that will be very interesting. Scott Stallion, got lots of good comments from 3 of you right here, right now. Scott Stallion saw Mickey 17, looked and sounded amazing in Dolby Cinema. I went to a regular projection sound and all that. I mean, it looked fine, and sounded fine, but whoa, it was a bad film. Pete Crooks, I just rewatched the great Gene Hackman noir Night Moves. I think there was a Jesse Eisenberg movie with that title a few years ago. It happens a lot. Jesse Eisenberg, see, I didn't think he was going to win because I did not think A Real Pain could win both of its Oscars it was nominated for, a writing and an acting, and not be up for picture, not be up for director, not be up for actor, editing, anything else. So I thought, yeah, Sean Baker's going to take original screenplay. Kieran Culkin, still one supporting actor. Please bring the Okja plushie out next week. I'll see if I can find it. There's a great movie, Mikey Madison. Yeah, Mikey Madison wins, and now we'll see where she's going. There's already rumors about her next projects. Conan was dynamite. Did you see Nickel Boys? Just the last screening in town blew me away. Should have gotten a cinematography nomination. Absolutely should have been up for cinematography. Also, I really liked Anjanou Ellis-Taylor in that. I thought, frankly, she's been snubbed the last 2 years. Origin and Nickel Boys. She could have been Oscar nominated for both. I like Nickel Boys. I don't think it's a perfect movie. It is a little long, but it does have a lot to say. I saw it back in October when I was out in Los Angeles. And yes, Anjanou Ellis-Taylor is one of our best actresses. Even in that Supremes movie that came out in August on Hulu, which wasn't great, she still gave a good performance. Put her in a movie, she will deliver. King Richard, Origin, Nickel Boys, she is one of the best actresses working today. And then Usual Suspects did win those 2 awards in the 90s, says Pete Crooks. Okay, but, and I know Coda won the 3 awards it was nominated for, all 3, even though it wasn't up for director. It won supporting actor, adapted screenplay, and picture a couple years ago. So anything can happen. Usual Suspects, one of those movies where, yes, you had that Kevin Spacey momentum at the time, and that screenplay, and it kind of shocked people. So That does make sense. But a real pain because of that competition. Sean Baker, everybody loving Honora. I also thought Coralie Farge had a legitimate shot at winning original screenplay off of that Critics' Choice win. And if not everyone wanted to fall in love with Honora, I thought she had even a better shot than Jesse Eisenberg did of winning that Academy Award. Okay, that's our Oscars talk. Hey, Joan Kay, thanks for being here. Yeah, that's our Oscar talk. That's it. That's it. We're done with the Oscars. We're going to move on. It was a fun award season, but now we move ahead. Black Bag out this week. Novocaine. They're going to battle Mickey 17 week 2, along with The Electric State at Home. Opus will make a little bit. So will The Last Supper and The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Wouldn't it be amazing if the Looney Tunes won the weekend box office? That would be great. You know, this movie's been delayed, and it needed to find a new home after Warner Brothers didn't want to release it. And wouldn't that be amazing if the Looney Tunes won? I'm not sure it's going to happen, but I'd like to see it do very well. So we'll see what happens. When we're back here next Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern for LCJ Live, we'll see what wins the weekend box office. Can Novocaine, Black Bag, or the Looney Tunes beat week 2 of Mickey 17? $19 million for that this weekend. It could drop to like $8 million next weekend. It could be a big drop. Anything that gets $10 million is totally up for grabs for winning the box office next weekend. And we will preview Snow White, The Alto Knights, and a film I've already seen, Magazine Dreams, the Jonathan Majors film, which is quite a movie. I don't think it's perfect. I have problems with the storytelling of it and kind of the takeaways and the messages it wants us to feel for this character that he plays. But there are some unforgettable scenes in Magazine Dreams. Truly. Scenes I'm going to remember for a long time because of how disturbing they are, because of how uncomfortable they are, how intense they are, how shocking it is in the ways that you see in the movie. Magazine Dreams is an experience, and it's out in 2 weeks opposite Snow White and The Alto Knights. So we will preview those coming up next Sunday on LCJ Live. Thanks for being here for the show. As always, go to Twitter X at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson, YouTube.com/LightsCameraJackson. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications every Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Let's see, lights-camera-jackson.com, animationscoop.com, TooFast2Films.com, new episode about my dead friend Zoe and Millers in Marriage, lcj.podbean.com. More LCJ Q&A podcast episodes are on the way. Plankton the Movie is a lot of fun. It's on Netflix now, and my conversation with the voices and the director is on the Podbean site. And yes, Magazine Dreams looked intense, and it is intense for sure. I've also seen the new Andy Kaufman documentary, which is fantastic. That's out the 28th, called Thank You Very Much. It's really good. It kind of blew me away of just how much of a genius, and I don't use that word lightly, but I just loved every concept that Andy Kaufman came up with, and he got away with so much, and he was brilliant, a brilliant mind in Andy Kaufman, and a guy I think who couldn't be as successful today in the social media era as he was back then. So you'll see it all in this documentary. We'll talk more next week. Thanks for being here for LCJ Live. Take care, and go Looney Tunes. Let's see how it does next weekend. See ya. Bye.